Do me a favor, kids. Engage with the video and in the ways that you can. It's Burn It Down with Kim Brown every Tuesday and Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Like, share, subscribe, chat, comment if you don't mind. So, obviously, the internet is going absolutely nuts with the CNN exclusive video obtained that shows in very vivid, clear HD fucking 720 is 2016. So let's say 720. You know what I'm saying? This shit was clear as fuck. The video of Sean Diddy Combs outright assaulting, viciously punching, kicking, throwing to the ground Cassie Ventura, his girlfriend of 11 years. The video was filmed in 2016 and it is hotel security from a hotel closed caption cameras um, from a hotel in Los Angeles is when this incident took place. Cassie Ventura detailed this incident in her civil lawsuit against Diddy that was filed late 2023, in which the hip hop mogul settled the lawsuit the next fucking day because, as I told y'all, Cassie likely had a thumb drive full of fuckery. And I mean, fuckery as in evidence, as in fuckery, as in to fuck over this predatory, abusive ass piece of shit ass nigga. I knew the shit was going to start to drip, drip out, kids. And this is the first of it that we have seen. So we're going to kick it over to CNN. This is CNN exclusive obtained videos. And trust me, I do have questions, not so much critiques, as it were, but questions about how and when CNN obtained this video footage. But the reporter is going to narrate. The original video does not have any sound, but it is pretty clear that this is indeed Sean Combs and Cassie in this video. So, content warning and trigger warnings for scenes of domestic violence, domestic abuse. This can be upsetting. So we're only going to show this once. We are not going to run this as B-roll because I'm sorry, women getting beat on is not, filler footage. You feel me? So we're going to watch this once. We are going to absorb it, and then we are going to come back and discuss. So let's take a look at this clip. Obtained exclusive footage from CNN from 2016. This is hotel footage of Sean Combs assaulting viciously Cassie. Let's take a look.
New surveillance footage obtained exclusively by CNN appears to corroborate some of the allegations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs wearing only a towel, assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November last year and settled the next day referenced actions that seem to match those seen in this video. There is no audio. According to the complaint, Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye, which, according to the lawsuit, prompted Ventura to try and leave the hotel room. The surveillance video obtained by CNN begins as she enters the hallway. The complaint says, as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. The complaint goes on to say he grabbed her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her. In the surveillance video, Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground. As Ventura lies on the ground, Combs then kicks her twice and attempts to drag her on the floor back to the hotel room. Ventura is seen picking up a hotel phone. Combs seems to walk back to the hotel room, then returns and appears to shove her in a corner. Moments later, he can then be seen throwing an object in her direction. According to Ventura's now settled lawsuit, the pair began dating several years after they met in 2005. They parted ways in 2019. Combs' attorney said the decision to settle was in no way an admission of wrongdoing. Ventura declined to comment on the video, but her attorney told CNN, "The gut-wrenching video has only further confirmed the disturbing and predatory behavior of Mr. Combs. Words cannot express the courage and fortitude that Miss Ventura has shown in coming forward to bring this to light." The video hasn't been seen publicly before and comes on the heels of a series of civil lawsuits alleging Combs' involvement in sex trafficking and sexual abuse, allegations that Combs has repeatedly denied. Authorities searched Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami in April as part of an ongoing federal investigation carried out by a team that specializes in human trafficking crimes. In a December 2023 statement, Combs responded to the claims in some of the lawsuits, saying, "Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged." Now, that Instagram post from Diddy was back in December. That was not in relation directly to Cassie. It was referencing many of these allegations and lawsuits that he faces. Now, I have reached out to Diddy's team. We have not heard back from them today. But, Jake, I do want to point out there was a settlement deal between Diddy and Cassie. So neither of them can speak. But again, we're still waiting to hear back from his team. Now, a really great point that you brought up top, Jake, was what is going on in Diddy's world, right? We've all heard stories of Hollywood enablers and enablers in circles around powerful people. But something that I want to point out, Diddy is one of the most powerful people in music history. He is a mogul. We have not seen any support in Hollywood. All of his famous friends, since these allegations came forward, we have not seen anyone come to his defense. And that silence is very loud, Jake.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
Elizabeth
that's good.
Wagmeister.
That's good on that. Thank you so much. And see, this is why I don't be fucking with CNN, y'all, because CNN is inaccurate as a motherfucker out this bitch. I'm sorry, no one has come to Diddy's defense. Is Stevie J no one? Is Ed Lover no one? I mean, the disrespect, the Stevie J disrespect out here. This man is a Grammy Award winning, platinum selling producer, and reality TV star. No respect for Stevie J out here. Jesus. Anyway, let me focus on the appropriate things here. So there we have it. The first of what I imagine will be several and likely many such videos of showing Sean Combs in a state of uncontrolled rage, taking it out physically, abusing Cassie, giving a whole lot of credence to the allegations that she detailed in her in her lawsuit. And to be clear, so the legal experts have said, you know, for those asking, how come Diddy's not being charged with domestic violence for this incident? Well, this is from 2016. This is 8 years ago. In California, the statute of limitations for simple assault and for domestic violence, I think, range between 1 and 5 years. So the time for any criminal action to be filed in this specific incident has expired. But because Cassie alleged sex trafficking and other variations of sexual assault in her civil suit, all of that can still fall under any potential federal charges that Diddy could possibly be facing as it pertains to sex trafficking. Because if he had to, or rather chose to, attack her and subdue her physically in the course of a trip where she was, you know, pressed upon to perform sexual acts, not necessarily under her consent or even, you know, her own volition, though that incident that we just saw could be added into a potential, you know, federal indictment, right? So, you know, as far as that goes, the what the feds are going to do still remains to be seen. You guys know the feds are on no one's time but their own. So all of this, how come Diddy ain't been arrested yet, nigga? Because he's under Fed indictment. Okay, the motherfuckers take time. How long did they investigate John Gotti? How long they investigate motherfucking Donald Trump? I mean, let's be serious. This shit takes time, right? But because Cassie gave a very factual, accurate, and truthful account of that incident, you have to, if you had any previous doubts about her other accusations, about being trafficked, about being raped, she wasn't lying about this shit. I'm inclined to believe her, and I believed her from the beginning, to be clear. I believe Black women until there is evidence or proof that shows otherwise, right? But yeah, I'm believing black women's accusations for the simple fact that for hundreds of years, maybe longer, black women's accusations were not believed and not taken seriously and not moved upon. And I know y'all might be like, "Well, Cassie ain't black." Well, I don't know what Cassie is. Okay, I mean, not to joke, but I am unclear of Cassie's ethnicity. She is clearly a brown woman, right? So whatever, don't matter. I don't care what color she was in this instance. She absolutely did not deserve that. And let me say a couple things here, specifically about that incident, right? And for anybody who in the past or in the future wants to ask survivors of domestic violence or survivors of sex assault or survivors of even sex trafficking, well, why didn't you leave? You had a chance to leave. Why didn't you leave? Part of what Cassie also disclosed in her lawsuit is that that night at that hotel, Diddy allegedly paid the hotel $50,000 to obtain that footage, to make sure that footage would not be released. Cassie also alleged in her lawsuit that the hotel workers were apparently encouraging her to leave. Okay. For reasons, I don't know the reasons, she was not able to leave or did not leave. Okay. But this is what happens when you have people with power and with resources. Even the Diddy, even though the hotel staff didn't work for Diddy per se, they still were, can't say manipulated. Manipulate is not the right word, but they did his bidding because he has money and because he has influence, because he's a celebrity, because of all these things. So this person, Cassie, this woman, this survivor, this victim, she is at the behest of all of that. What she's supposed to outmaneuver Diddy's money? She's supposed to outmaneuver Diddy's staff, his security? When it seems the hotel workers, even though they may have expressed some compassion and empathy, still took that, I won't say the workers, but the hotel allegedly took that $50,000 and sat on that footage. It's disgusting, you guys. And it's real, okay? People experience this kind of abuse at all levels. And I know we're talking about Diddy here, and trust me, there's a lot to say about Diddy here. But please believe that people who are lodging at the fucking Motel 6, at the goddamn Budget Inn, scenes like this, I'm sure, play out in all kinds of lodging establishments, not just, but since we talk about hotel, scenes like this play out all the time. And guess what? From the nice 5-star hotel to the shitty 1-star hotel, no one's calling the police, and very few people are reaching out to help and to intervene on behalf of someone that is on the receiving end of a vicious assault, like that video depicts that Cassie is and was. So many, a lot of people are saying, well, Diddy is done after this. Some are even saying, I wonder if there's a place in Bali in proximity to Russell Simmons, because that's where the fuck Diddy is headed next, you guys. Don't be surprised if Diddy gets the fuck out of Dodge and goes to a country that does not have an extradition treaty with the United States. Because, sir, if you come under criminal indictment, it's not looking cute for you, mister. And there's precedents here. R. Kelly and the Bing doing 30 years, shouty. R. Kelly and the Bing doing 30 years. Do you think in 2014, in 2010, in 2005, do you think R. Kelly ever thought he was going to see the inside of a jail cell, let alone be facing decades behind bars? This is the exact same sobering reality that I think Sean Combs is coming to grips with. Like, not only is he persona non grata, the biggest villain in the world right now in the court of public opinion, nigga, them actual courts, them actual factual courts might be coming for you here real soon. Here real soon. So, what kind of validity or credence or credibility does the emergence of this video lend to perhaps some of Diddy's other accusers, those who have also filed civil lawsuits, including Little Rod. But the one I'm most interested in is the one that was filed in New York Southern District, that federal lawsuit where the then teen, who was 17, alleges that she was flown out, aka trafficked across state lines from her home or from her residence in the Detroit area to New York. And she alleges that she was uh, sexually assaulted by Diddy and two others. I think that's actually actually, no, it was Cassie's lawsuit that triggered it all. But I think that is the one that is going to be the one that's going to nail this motherfucker's coffin all the way closed, guys. As I look at this video, I'm thinking about what the feds have collected, what they seized from the raids on Diddy's Los Angeles and Miami homes. And it's just incredible to me, just the arrogance of some folks, right? The hubris of some folks. And I'm so I'm appreciative. Sometimes I say the wrong words, but I am kind of I'm appreciative in what 2024 has begun to bring us, right? There has been a revelation of many truths across the spectrum, right? The way that much of the world, or even here stateside, the way that way more people have been awakened to the plight of the Palestinians and having a way, I won't say way better, a more nuanced, somewhat understanding of what the Palestinians have been subjected to at the hands of the Zionists in Israel, right? People are starting to be like, what? And like kind of put shit together. The way that long time abusers and predators are being unmasked and exposed. Like, I think that this year is just getting started, gang. Here we are in May. I think that 2024 has a lot more to give us. And if people who are abusive and harmful over a period of decades are being unmasked and exposed, baby, I can't tell you how here I am for that. Okay. But I want you guys to be clear. It's not just happening to the likes of Diddy, it's happening on many levels. It's happening on many levels. And if you pay attention, I think you will start to see these things around you or closer to you, right? So just be on the constant lookout for the ways in which bad behavior and and I can't to even call shit bad is a misnomer. Harmful, dangerous, predatory, like the worst of the worst. And Diddy is just the tip of the iceberg, okay? And this shit with Diddy, this video, guys, I wonder who gave this video to CNN. Again, it's not a critique, it's a question. And the unscrupulous nature behind the hotel, whatever hotel it was, and I'm not clear what hotel it was in LA, but for employees there to witness an assault and not call police, not want to draw attention to the situation. If Cassie's allegations in her lawsuit is to be believed, that they accepted a monetary payoff, a bribe, to withhold or promise not to publish or promise not to broadcast that specific footage right there. I mean, she should be suing them for negligence of some sort. And I was trying to think this out earlier because we know, guys, hotels are the scenes of where a lot of sex trafficking happens, right? People are trafficked in plain sight at hotels, big and small, all across this country. And I think on some levels, I know in some states, some hotel workers are being trained in how to sort of identify who might be a victim of sex trafficking, and again, what they do with that information, we're not exactly sure because in a way, I don't know. Again, I don't know how I feel about that either because, just randomly snitching, especially on non-white people, could result in a fatal encounter with police if they show up at the door. So I don't know how I feel about that just because, sometimes just shit ain't what you thought it was, or maybe it is what you thought it was. But anything to minimize black folks contacts and encounters with the police. I'm usually here for that. You know what I mean? I don't think that getting police involved on everything is necessarily the best thing, right? Because the police don't usually bring justice. They usually just bring more chaos. But even still, like you see somebody getting kicked and punched, you see a much smaller person getting kicked and punched by a much bigger person, and you don't your first thought is not to call the police. That should be some sort of mandated reporter thing. Like especially if you witness as a hotel employee, by the way, or someone that works at the whole fucking hotel. If you see that shit on CC camera, you should be obligated to call somebody, right? At minimum, to get it on the record, to have police show up and they themselves view the video, write a report, even if the occupants have checked out or exited the hotel, have the police come over and do what the fuck they good for anyway, and that's paperwork. And that's to establish a paper trail. Write it up. Make a trail about it. Don't leave it all the time on the survivor or on the victim of domestic violence. Pardon me, to have to make a case themselves. You understand? Because most survivors or most people that find themselves in intimate partner violence are not very likely to either call the police at all, or if the police do show up, they're not very likely to press charges. And if they do press charges in the moment, they are not likely to follow through on those charges. They will usually ask the courts to drop those charges for all kinds of reasons. And we are in no position to judge those folks why people do what they do and for the reasons that they do it. Ultimately, they're trying to survive, okay? I'm just I'm not I am at a bit of a loss. And what I hope doesn't happen is a number of things. I hope all kinds of goofball motherfuckers don't start splicing the Cassie video with the "What's Love Got to Do with It" scene when Tina Turner, beaten, battered, and bruised, decides in the moment to leave Ike Turner at a Dallas area hotel, and she takes off running across the freeway, and she comes into another hotel establishment, and her face is swollen, and she's obviously been beaten and abused. And I don't want to see none of that. Like, I don't want to see no jokes. I don't want to see no fucking memes. I don't want to see no reenactments. Like, it's time to grow up, kids. It's time to start having these conversations about abuse in general, the spectrum of abuse, but it's time to give it the seriousness and the deference that it deserves. Okay. Like, I just don't want to see no deliberate jokes about this, because there's nothing funny about it. And chances are there is a trail of survivors left by Diddy. And let me say this, like, I was on TikTok. I was on TikTok, and the random interviews from, Mark Curry and Diddy's former security, detailing from their perspective the alleged abuse that he did against Kim Porter, who is, the mother of his children, against Misa Hilton, who was also, I think his first baby mother. Like, this is a pattern, guys. It's a pattern. So if that Diddy video is from 2016, 8 years ago, I'm sorry, are we to believe that Diddy hasn't put his hands on anybody in a violent, aggressive manner in 8 years? Y'all believe that? I don't. I don't. But when you hear allegations of abuse, even if you can't yourself directly corroborate them, don't dismiss them. Listen to them, take them in, okay? Because usually, guys, when there's smoke, there's fire. And sometimes, as we are seeing, it takes years, sometimes even decades, for the real person to finally be unmasked and exposed. And at this particular celestial alignment that we are in, baby, that exposure is going to be worldwide, is going to be intense, and it's going to last a little while, everybody. I'm anticipating for the series, the Lifetime TV series, Surviving Diddy, coming to Lifetime. May 2026. Like it's not over for Diddy. This shit's just getting started, kids. This shit just getting started. And I want y'all to pay close attention to especially to some of y'all little media personality faves, because you know I'm gonna say it correct by and large. Your fave that you like to listen to on the way home or whatever, who's ever little YouTube channel, they may not say the shit correct, everybody, but you just watch. I want y'all to pay close attention to how this is covered. And if there's anybody that tries to kick that bullshit, well, why didn't she leave? Why didn't she go away? Why didn't she? Why didn't she? Why didn't she? I want you to ask those same people, why did Diddy feel the need to punch Cassie in the face? Don't ask why she didn't leave. Ask why he punched her in the face. And the reason why people are quicker to ask why the woman didn't leave as opposed to why did the man become violent is because, we don't like to say the quiet part out loud, right? Of course, a man, not every man, gentlemen, but of course, a man will be violent. What's wrong with her? Why couldn't she anticipate that this nigga was gonna punch her in the face? That's her fault. What the fuck? When shit is framed that way, that just tells me that it is perfectly acceptable still in our society for people to know and have awareness that women in particular are being physically abused and sexually abused out here. And still the onus is on the woman to save themselves because the absurdity of thinking that a man would somehow control his violent and aggressive nature. I mean, why, how can we ask him not to be that way? Because that's the inherent nature of a man. Again, not my framing, beloveds. This is how society is talking. You feel me? I brought this up here before. For example, the many ways in which women in the loads of advice in which women and girls are taught to defend themselves or protect themselves out here. Don't be out late at night. Be careful about what you wear. Be sure if you are in a social or party or club setting to watch your drinks in case anyone tries to drug you. Where's the reciprocal advice for men? Men, don't put drugs in women's drinks. Hey, men, don't follow women closely day or night. Hey, men, let's not be creeps. Hey, men, let's not engage in stalkerish behaviors. Hey, men, let's not be predatory. Hey, men, if a woman does not want to engage you on the street, leave her alone. Like, there is no such advice. All the advice is for women. Protect yourself. Put mace on your keychain. Oh, be careful, be careful, be careful. Where's the advice telling these motherfuckers not to be rapey, predatory, abusive, stalkerish, dangerous humans? This is why I'm sick of this shit. This is why I'm sick of this shit. Motherfuckers got all the advice all day for women. Where's the advice for the man them? Where is it? And when it comes to accountability, who is keeping man them accountable? The police? Wrong answer. The answer is nobody. There was an entire staff, a small army of enablers around Diddy. Some on the payroll, some didn't even have to be on the payroll, but all upheld this man's secrets. They upheld his proclivities, his violence, his abuse. I mean, how many more? I'm sure there's more, but we've already heard two accounts, Cassie's and Little Rod's, via their civil lawsuits about how Diddy would procure sex workers. Some unclear if they were of legal consenting age or not. Like, where there's smoke, there's fire, kids. The phrase from yesteryear is don't believe the hype. When the dirtbag report on a particular individual is numerous and over a duration of time, I think it's all right. I think you can believe the hype just a little bit. Because at the end of the day, y'all, all these folks ain't lying. And Cassie ain't lying. And I don't think any of the people that have filed civil lawsuits against Diddy are lying. And I'm just appreciative, kids. I am so grateful that I have managed to live So far, 45 big years. So I can see some of this shit unfold. I just never thought. But excuse me, here we are. And trust me, it's just the beginning.